Hello and welcome back. We begin our segment today with a section on microevolution. As Dr. Kent Hovind writes at the bottom of page 63, microevolution is small little changes where there is no change from one kind of organism to another. Actually, evolution would be a bad term to use. Microevolution is only variations within the kind. It proves foresight of the Creator in providing His creatures with the ability to adapt within limits to their environment. I don't question that variation exists, I just interpret the evidence as part of God's design. I'll give you just one example to help you understand the difference. Let's suppose that we let loose 500 canaries on an island. The only food for the canaries to eat on that island are nuts with a relatively tough shell around them. Only the canaries that had a tough beak would be able to eat the nuts and survive. The others would starve to death. Therefore, those that had the tougher beaks would be able to reproduce the next generation. If we came back to that island in about 200 years, we would find that all of the canaries on the island have tough beaks. That is not evolution. That is simply variation. You would still have canaries. The trait of having a tough beak was in the genetic structure to begin with. Nothing new has been added. We've only selected a certain portion of the population to survive. That is variation, not evolution. Those canaries will never, given all the time you want, will never change into elephants or dinosaurs or trees or tomatoes. If they did, that would be macroevolution. Macroevolution is small, little variation. Microevolution is small, little variation between the species that have been in the genetic structure by. It has nothing to do whatsoever with the terms that are used today about evolution. Let me quote just a few more things here. In Scientific America, May 1984, Alan Good said, "The inflationary model of the universe provides a possible mechanism by which the observable universe could have evolved from an infinitesimal region. It is then tempting to go one step further and speculate that the entire universe evolved from literally nothing." You can speculate and say that it's possible all you want, but that is religion. That's your faith. Don't tell me that that's science. You cannot prove that. If you want to believe that, then that is fine. This is America. You can believe what you want to believe, but don't tell me that that's science, and don't use my tax dollars to teach other kids in the public schools that is science. That's nonsense. If you think that it is really important to teach evolution to the young people, then go start yourself a private school, charge tuition, and teach evolution to those who want to pay to come and learn it. But it is deceitful, wrong, and wicked to use the public's tax money to promote this religion of evolution in our public schools. We've got to put a stop to it. Let me quote just a few more here. David Kitts in Paleontology and Evolutionary Thought magazine said, quote, "Evolution, at least in the sense that Darwin speaks of it, cannot be detected within the lifetime of a single observer," end quote. It cannot be detected. It is not a part of science. It is just a religion. Here's a quote from Meyer's book, Systematic and Origin of Species. Quote, "Darwin never really did discuss the origin of species on the Origin of Species," end quote. Colin Patterson, the curator of the British Museum of Natural History, said, "No one has ever produced a species by mechanisms of natural selection. No one has gotten near it. The mechanisms for evolution that they try to tell us works so well are mutation and natural selection. No one has ever produced a new species by those means. Evolution is a religion." If evolutionists want to believe that, that is fine, but that is just their faith. I want to believe that God created it, and that is my faith, and I readily admit it. Many say we can't mix religion in the public schools. In the first place, that is a faulty argument. The public schools desperately need some religion. They were started by religious institutions. There's nothing wrong with putting religion in our public schools. The second argument that many people say is, well, you can't mix church and state. That is not found anywhere in the Constitution. That is in Jefferson's writing, the separation of church and state. The Constitution says that the government can make no law respecting an establishment of religion or hindering the free exercise thereof. Teaching our young people that we evolved from monkeys in hindering the religion of Christianity. It's causing them to doubt their faith, and it needs to be eliminated. The First Amendment goes against the teaching of evolution. It is just a hindrance to religious activity. Evolution is just a religion. We must establish early in the discussion that the creation-evolution question cannot be scientifically resolved because both are religious faiths. They are dogmas. They are what you believe. As we continue, people coming into the argument believing what they already